Okay. 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 Okay.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What is up, Garage Gym Revolution? It is Coach Evan with another live training for you today. And this is a training that I have been asked to create many times. And so I have actually created a 15-page training worksheet for you guys that if you want it, I will be providing it to you. All you need to do is comment hashtag live if you're here with me live, hashtag replay if you are watching the replay, the follow-up, and I'll be more than happy to send you the sheet. Now, what you need to know is that today is all about how we scale our business with semi-private personal training. And if you don't currently offer semi-private personal training for your clients and for your business, you're missing out on a huge revenue opportunity for yourself and also a way for your clients to come into your world at a lower cost. Now, there are an incredible amount of benefits for semi-private personal training, but I've been getting the same question a lot, thus the necessity for me doing this live training. So I'm not gonna lie, this training might take a little bit of time, but as you know, we're doing something completely different with our program this week. If you've seen the previous post, and if you want to be a part of that, it's hashtag GGR16 to schedule a call with me, because the things that we are providing for our clients are game changers. It's taken over a year of work to get to this point, but I am so excited to be doing it with you. So again, we are going to go over semi-private personal training scaling for your business today. This training might take 10 minutes, might take 20 minutes. If you have the time, I'm going to suggest you sit through it because I want to be able to answer any questions that you might have relative to semi-private personal training. Before we get into the training itself, you need to know that I've been a one-on-one personal trainer and a group fitness instructor for almost 10 years. My bread and butter was one-on-one training, and I was charging upwards of $125 per session, and now my rates have actually doubled to $250, but I don't specialize that anymore. I specialize in semi-private personal training. And in a separate training, if you want it, I'll be more than happy to show you. We have the income potential calculator. You can see how switching to semi-private personal training and charging less can actually double your weekly, monthly, and yearly revenue. It's crazy. And so it is a no-brainer to start providing semi-private personal training for your business. And this training right here that you are watching is going to give you the skills that you need in order to do that successfully while providing a high-value service, a high-quality service, and a low enough rate that enables you to acquire as many clients as you would need for your business to run a $200,000 to $800,000 year. So without further ado, let's actually get into the training right now. This is all going to be about delivery with some features and benefits about semi-private training that many people might not know. So bear with me. If you got questions, write them in the comments. If I see them live, I'll answer live. If I see them on the replay, I'll type you a response and I'll send you a message. And at the end of this training, I'm going to invite you to schedule a call with me to learn how we're doing this to get to that $800,000 a year mark for our business. So if you want that, again, hashtag live, hashtag GGR16. I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you. But without further ado, let's get into scaling with semi-private personal training. Now, here's the thing that you really need to know about semi-private personal training is how do you structure semi-private personal training? It's obviously going to be different than one-on-one, and it's going to be a lot different than large group. Most people think of group training kind of like workouts of the day, CrossFit classes, those kind of things, and they don't perceive the value to be very high. So semi-private personal training is really going to be the bread and butter for your business. Now, for semi-private personal training, relative to your capacity and to the feel of what personal training feels like, you're probably going to have a 2 to 8 person max per your facility and per trainer. Right? If you have a 3,000 square foot facility, you might be able to have multiple 8-person groups running at the same time. What the benefit about semi-private personal training is as well is that we provide individual programming via a system that I created called FitMaps, and I'm going to get to that system in just a second. What we also provide and recommend is one-on-one nutrition and accountability coaching, weekly or bi-weekly weigh-ins, and a set training schedule. Now, here's where the money really lies. Set training schedule. Now, if you're doing one-on-one, and let's say you have 30 clients and they all train 3 times a week, you're working 90 hours per week. So what ends up happening when a very good client calls in and is like, hey, I can't make it because I got X, Y, and Z going on. Worst case scenario, they miss their session. They lose out on the opportunity of getting results and working for you, right? And on top of that, like, you miss money. If you don't have a late cancellation fee. We really don't impose a late cancellation fee unless somebody no calls, no shows, right? But most clients don't want to miss out on their session. So 30 clients training 3 times a week, that's 90 hours per week. No, I don't have another hour that I can fit you in because I'm already working more than 12 hours per day, 6 days a week. But if I had groups of just 3 people, now I'm working 30 hours per week, and my opportunity to fit you into different hours is going to increase exponentially. So we get clients call us all the time like, hey, I'm going to be out of town on Friday. Is there another time that I can come in? And the answer is yes, you can come in on Thursday. Or, hey, I slept in, I'm sorry, I'm a little hungover, I can't come in at 6, can I come in at 7 or 8? And the answer is yes. So long as there's space, our clients never miss out on an opportunity to work with us. So this gives us a really cool opportunity in order to provide our high value service and limit our schedule. So instead of working 90 hours per week, I'm working 30 hours per week and opening up my capacity to let more and more people come to me. And that is where the value truly lies. So how many people can I train at one time? Now, there are 2 considerations for this question. The first is your total usable floor space, and the second is going to be what we just call feel, right? If you have a large equipment kind of facility, so if you're doing strong lifts, Oli lifts, power lifts, those kind of things, you're going to be utilizing barbells, right? If you have machines, so if you don't have a lot of available floor space, but you're doing kind of bodybuilder type exercises, your usable floor space is going to be divided by 100. You're going to want about 100 square feet of space for every user, and that's going to be your session capacity. So at 600 square feet of space, you're going to divide that number by 100, and your capacity is going to be at 6 people with a large equipment defined training mechanism, right? If you use small equipment, however, dumbbells, kettlebells, medicine balls, resistance bands, you're going to divide that number in half. So your usable floor space is actually going to be by 50, right? Which is going to give you a capacity of about 12 people. Now, for me, the feel, right, of semi-private personal training is really capped at around 8. And I've tried 8, I've tried 10, I've tried 12. And I'll be honest, once I've broken past that 8-person mark, it starts to feel more like group fitness, and I don't really like that. I still want to provide a high value assumption, right? Not just the high value service, but the assumption that this is personal training. And the language that we use is very, very important when selling our services. And so when people ask me, what do? I tell them I'm a personal trainer, right? We would provide personal training in semi-private environments. Small group environments, right? It's a lot harder to say, hey, I do personal training in groups of 20 people. Like, there's just not enough individualization that can go on relative to such a large group. So the cool thing is, if you have that 3,000 square foot of space, right, you're dividing that by 100, right? That's a lot of space. That's 330 people per session. You're still probably going to want to divide that by about 8-person groups. So you're probably looking at around 5 groups of 8 people. So this can work in a brick and mortar boutique fitness facility that has multiple trainers, right? So for me, total floor space and feel are going to be important, and I'm really going to max out my capacity about 8 people. Now, relative to programming, when COVID hit, I was doing one-on-one individualized programming with periodization for all of our clients. And we had almost 80 clients coming in and out every single day. It's a lot of people. And so I created a system called FitMaps. And the way that I describe it is goal-oriented programming, right? The cool thing about FitMaps is that I can provide multiple paths. In this image that you see here, we provide a strength path, a physique path or a hypertrophy path, a power path, and a high intensity training path. Not high intensity interval training, high intensity training. And when you are coming to me to train for my services, I'm going to tell you the difference. Based upon your goals, based upon your needs, based upon your expectations, most likely you're going to fall within this path. Strength is going to be primarily upper body, right? But you're still going to get lower body stuff. Physique is going to be a little bit more lower body focus, and there's still going to be some amount of strength involved with upper body. What you need to know is that it's going to be medium rate, medium load, medium reps, medium sets. Like, that's pretty much how I program for strength and physique, right? When it comes to power, these are for my athletes. These are people that are, trying to get better at their sport. People who are looking for explosive movements. The equipment that we're going to use also is going to be more like barbells, right? So you're going to have your big lifts and power. You're going to have more dumbbell, kettlebell-oriented stuff in strength and physique, and high-intensity training. These are for my endurance athletes, the people that are doing Tough Mudders, those kind of things. A lot of body weight stuff, a lot of time stuff, and a lot of stuff just with ergs and air bikes and medicine balls and jump ropes. You can see the way that I program. They're very specific. And what's important for me as the trainer and as the seller is to let people know, like, hey, you told me what your goals are. This is going to get you to your goal. And one of the rules in our gym is keep the goal the goal. The goal is to keep the goal the goal. Hashtag Dan John. If you're not familiar with Dan John, look at him. He'll train you how to program better than anybody else in this world. So for me, I tell people, hey, you're going to pick your path, and you might be in a group with people all doing power. You might be in a group with people doing strength, physique, power, and HIIT. What's important is you always know what you're going to get. And also, as you can see by these blocks, and if you can see me on my screen, shout out to MC Squared blocks, right? I bought a ton of these. Not only is it good for me to take notes, but you can see in the image, my paths are very clearly laid out, and I let people know day 1, day 2, day 3. Now, it doesn't have to go in order necessarily, but there is 3 times a week of fitness programming. I set the rules for my gym when I tell people about how we program. I literally show them the programming, and it's 3 times a week. What if I want to train 2 times a week? You can't. What if I want to train 5 times a week? You can't. We don't do unlimited. We don't do less than 3. 3 is our standard. It's our gold standard. Everybody that comes in has to commit to a 3 time a week minimum, right? Also, it's a 3 time a week maximum. We have one price for our services, and this is how we do it. If you want to train 2 times a week, same price. Sorry. So this is FitMaps, and if you want more information on FitMaps, hashtag FitMaps in this video, throw me a like as well. Let me know that you're here so that I can shout you out later. I'll be more than happy to give you some more information on how we deliver FitMap programming. Now, I want you to understand a typical session relative to our semi-private environment. Now, I talked about this in yesterday's training, and I got a little bit of pushback on it. Now, one of the things that you need to know about gyms in general and why people quit. 3 number 1 reasons. 3 number 1, I guess the top 3 reasons, not 3 number 1 reasons. But the first one is not going to be your results. It's actually going to be because the gym's a mess, right? The second reason why people say they quit the gym is because they didn't get the results. So the first thing is gym is disgusting. Go on Yelp right now and Yelp your local big gym. And I guarantee the number 1 complaint is going to be things that you wouldn't have even thought of. It's going to be, the gym was disgusting. It was going to be, why did I have to walk upstairs to get to the gym? It's going to be all about convenience, and it's not going to be about the results. It isn't, right? It's going to be about the stuff that you would not guess. And the number 1 thing is going to be cleanliness. The second thing is going to be results. And the third thing is going to be community. Now, I talked about this yesterday. When it comes to building community in your semi-private training environment, people showing up for the same hour does not build community. The things that build community are the things that bring people together to either enjoy or hate, period. It's why it works in politics. It's why it works in religion. We're right, they're wrong, right? People love coming together. And when I'm the trainer, I like to be bad cop. I like to be the guy that people can say, oh man, Evan is just the biggest asshole on planet Earth for making us do this. I can't tell you how much of a joy I get out of that, right? So in order to bring that energy together, even though they're doing their path-specific or goal-oriented FitMap programming for the bulk of their program, the first 5 minutes are going to be a group or dynamic warm-up. Now, these are just some examples of dynamic warm-ups that we utilize, but I'm not teaching you how to coach. Like, there's a million here, right? The next 5 minutes, so up to the 10-minute mark, is going to be group cardiovascular activity. So 500-meter run, erg, row, air bike, those kind of things. You could do it by time, you could do it by distance, you could do it however you want. But for us, we spend the first 10 minutes bringing people together to do the same thing. And then we separate them, right? Then it's, okay, great. Joe, you're over here. Jan, you're over here. Jake, you're over here. Kelly, you're over here, right? And you're then giving them their specific programming, the bulk of it. So now they get into that individual aspect of the programming. That's about 40 minutes of our session. And then at the very end, we do a group finisher. That could be a Tabata, that could be a HIIT challenge, that could be core work, that could be some kind of burnout, whatever it is that you want to do that re-engages the group to bring that energy together. This is what a typical session looks like. This is how we build community. This is how we increase our retention rates, because people love coming together for a shared experience that's either loved or hate, and most likely it's somewhere in between. They love the workout and they hate their coach. That is pretty much how I've operated my business for 10 years. I want them to love the experience, and I want them to hate me at the end of it. Because if they can high five at the end of it, like, Evan's such an asshole, right? Yep, it was great. That's exactly what I want my clients to experience. So this is how we break down our sessions every single time. Now, if you don't provide nutrition coaching, that's okay. You do need, however, to understand the difference between coaching and prescription, because you have to know your scope of practice. Because in many places, you're not actually able to provide nutrition or dietary guidelines without being a registered nutritionist or a dietitian. But that doesn't mean you cannot coach people through proper eating habits. When we started the Garage Gym Revolution, a lot of people would ask, like, what do I do for nutrition? And initially, just so you know, I'm a level 2 precision nutrition coach. I'm a huge fan of that certification, but it took me 2 years to get past level 2. So that's a huge commitment relative to nutrition coaching. And now most of my skills are in teaching people about counting calories, teaching people about nutrient timing, or just having them follow a basic meal plan through something like That Clean Life. And I'll provide the link below, but if you want me to send it to you, want me to DM it to you, just hashtag That Clean Life, and I'll send you my affiliate link where you can get discounted, you can get a discounted rate on their services. Because what they do is like, just put your client information in there, put their goals in there, and then they'll spit out meal plans, they'll spill out recipe guides, they'll spit out all kinds of stuff that can deliver custom-made nutrition programs for your clients. So first things I would recommend is just understand your scope of practice, understand that you have to use the right language for your clients as well. I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a dietitian, but what I have found works with a lot of my clients and what have worked for me are these, and I'll help you through those guidelines. That is going to be acceptable for your business. And the way that you hold your clients accountable is to schedule weekly one-on-one coaching checkpoints with all of them. Now, we automate this process within our coaching business. We actually send them a weekly review sheet that they fill out. It's about, I think, 8 to 9 questions, something like that. And it's pretty much like, how are your workouts? How's your diet? What do you weigh? What's your body fat? What do you need help with? Where did you succeed? Where do you have room for improvement? And then once we get that feedback we can either schedule a one-on-one checkpoint, 10-minute over Zoom, right? Or during our session, we walk up to them and we just give them that little bit of feedback. We're just like, hey, Evan, I saw in your response form that you mentioned that you were struggling with this. Here's some ideas. And just in the middle of session, I'm giving them that one-on-one touch point that really drives together that idea of one-on-one accountability. And again, hashtag That Clean Life if you want that link. And if you want more information on accountability, hashtag GGR16, because what we're doing right now is blowing your minds with all of this information, right? Next thing that you need to know is the quote that I've heard from a million trainers all over the place. And it's this: my clients won't be able to convert to semi-private personal training groups. And you can see the trainer that says that is the trainer who has no idea what they're talking about. Now, let me tell you, I am a guy who, after being certified through pretty much every certification process you can think of, spends over $100,000 on certifications and coaching alone. Like, I can tell you the value of certifications for me, and that is to increase my knowledge, and that is to increase my ability to help people. But when it comes down to it, over the past 10 years, I've coached hundreds, if not thousands, of people in both one-on-one and group formats. And when I made the transition from one-on-one to semi-private training, I had 0 people sign off. 0. I had a full roster. I had more than 36 clients training with me. I was making $20K a month, and I decided to take the risk to jump into semi-private personal training. And I told them all the same thing, and we're going to get into that script in the next thing. This is what I told them. We'll go to the thing in the beginning first. The script was this: hey, Evan, I'm going to be transitioning my business to semi-private groups. We're going to start at 3 people, right, for the next 3 months as we work out some of the kinks. Good news is that I'm going to be dropping your price. You're still going to get whatever the things that they were getting, one-on-one accountability, nutrition, blah, 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 all that stuff. Plus, with this format, you're going to be able to schedule whenever you want. There's going to be no late cancellations, all the benefits that I was giving them, right? Now, I know that this is going to be a huge shift for a lot of my clients, so I'm asking that you just give this a shot for the next 3 months. We're going to schedule a follow-up at the end to review the progress. And if for whatever reason it's not everything I know it's going to be, we'll go back to one-on-one, and here are my new hours of availability. Now, here was the thing with this language. I had this conversation one-on-one with so many of my clients, and what ended up happening was I was confident in my ability to deliver, but I still gave them an out, right? I knew that this was the right decision to make for my clients. And the reason why I knew that was because of the things that I outlined above that script. As a trainer, it's your responsibility to provide your clients with the best results possible. You need to understand the opportunity cost for yourself and your clients by sticking to one-on-one. And here's the opportunity cost. Higher cost, right? One-on-one. The only way to make more money is to charge more, period, right? It is a higher cost. I actually dropped my rate in half for my one-on-one clients currently to enter semi-private, and then I doubled my one-on-one rate. Another reason why my clients didn't want to go back to one-on-one. The other thing was a higher time commitment for both you and for your clients, right? 30 clients, training 3 times a week, that's 90 hours of work per week. They're not getting any makeup sessions. You're missing out on that opportunity, and so are they, right? Because your window of opportunity is so limited. But if you had groups of 6 and you were training 5 hours in the morning, hey, I can't make 8, can I come in at 9? Yes. How about 10? Yes. How about 11? Yes, right? But when you're doing one-on-ones, that's just 5 clients in 5 hours. They're screwed. So it's a higher time commitment for you and for them. That's opportunity cost. That's opportunity lost. Your diminished growth opportunity is significant as well. We'll get into those growth opportunities later on, but what you need to know is, right, if you're going to do one-on-one, there's going to be a threshold where you're not willing to work more hours and you can't charge enough money, right? So this is really, really limiting to you, and you got to get out of this fixed mindset. If you are here and you don't believe that one-on-one, or you don't believe that semi-private can deliver the high results that one-on-one can, trust me, as somebody who is very certified, I know that it can because I've done this now for years and I've seen the benefit. The other thing the other thing that you're missing out on if you're only doing one-on-one is a higher skill set. And that's the thing when it comes to brick and mortar owners, people with large facilities who are hiring trainers, have employees, right? What makes you an awesome trainer will not be the same thing as what the trainers that you potentially want to hire. If you want to grow into multiple facilities, it's going to be really hard to repeat how good you are, period. You're just not going to be able to do it. However, with semi-private personal training, when you are in charge of the energy, when you are in charge of the programming, when you are in charge of this, these are the things that can be replicable, right? That don't involve you being in the session 24/7, right? So when you have this really niche skill set, you can't repeat that. However, for your weight loss, for your strength training, for whatever you're programming for, whatever your goal-specific programming fit map means, right? It's so easy to just be like, hey, follow these rules. Make sure people don't hurt themselves. And that's pretty much it. So this means that your barrier to entry for some of your employees becomes a lot lower. And the other thing is, there's a huge lack of communal accountability when you're just doing one-on-one. People, if you run a garage gym like us, people come and go, in and out. They don't really see each other. We don't have showers. We don't have bathrooms. Like, it's not like people are conversing when doing one-on-one. But in large groups, again, they get those high fives. They get that, holy crap, what have we gotten ourselves into? They get that back and forth. Plus, when somebody doesn't show up for a session, you know what ends up happening? Hey, where was Evan yesterday? Right? It creates that really strong bond. And the other way to keep that bond motivating is understanding people's paths and sharing that paths on social media. Very simple, right? So I will say semi-private personal training is for everyone with a few exceptions. And here are the exceptions. Special needs, right? Primarily people who might be injured, who you would have to do manual therapy if you're licensed. So if you do massage work, those kind of clients, like, it's going to be hard to spend 20 minutes doing body work with somebody when, you know, the rest of the bulk of the program is everybody else doing the work, right? So if you do have those kind of clients, that would be beneficial for one-on-one or an opportunity for you to refer out, right? The other thing would be celebrities. The only time I can imagine a person wanting anonymity versus community in their training is if they're a celebrity or if they're an elite athlete and competitor. And mostly the elite athletes and competitors, unless they're professional athletes, it's more about having individualized periodization, right? In general, our weight loss clients, our strength training clients, they don't really need periodization. They just need to move better, feel better, follow a better nutrition program, and be held to a high level of accountability, right? So if you can do that, your elite level athletes are probably going to be okay. Your celebrities in general probably are going to want to be left alone, but having trained in Los Angeles for 10 years, I can tell you I've trained large group sections where we've had plenty of celebrities who don't mind, who prefer the group element. So that's going to be really up to you. And the other thing is going to be snobs. Semi-private isn't for me. Group isn't for me. My personal trainer back in here, blah, blah, blah. You're full of shit. You're a snob, and that's really all it boils down to, is you don't know what you're talking about. And when your clients don't know what they're talking about, they have to experience the benefit of communal accountability with one-on-one programming with nutrition. That's pretty much it. So why is semi-private training the best way for me to scale? And that's because there are only 4 ways to make more money in this industry. One of them we talked about. You have to charge more. Number 2 is to offer online, hybrid, or bolt-on services. If you're doing online, I don't do online, but we coach online and online high-ticket sales. There is a way to have recurring revenue come from that. And if that's what you want to do, that's not a bad opportunity for you. But for us, we really value one-on-one and semi-private training. We value the in-person stuff. But there is an opportunity there, and you can have endless amounts of clients online, right? Opportunity 3 is to sell supplements. We utilize a program called Rocktomic. If If you're interested in supplement sales, hashtag supplements down below. I'll send you a message about Rocktonic. They do white label supplement delivery, which means you don't have to hold on to any of your supplements. You don't have to hold on to anything, right? You can create your own formulas for your stuff, and they'll even do your own label for you. It's really cool. So that's the third opportunity. But when it boils down to it, if you're just an average Joe like me, and you're just trying to help more people and make a little bit more money, you have to expand your capacity. That's either going to be small group or large group. And the next slide, you can see with our income potential, why small group really is the way to go. And so this income potential calculator, if you need it, it's a free training. All you got to do, hashtag IPC in the comments below. I know I'm giving you a lot of hashtags, but I want to give you different opportunities to learn from me. I will give you this calculator if you want, but these are the numbers for my gym. We've got a 900 square foot facility. We've got available floor space at about 720. We've got a small group capacity of around 7 people and a large group capacity of about 14. Now we don't do 14, but based upon these numbers, if I were to do large group, I'd charge about $25 per session. My small group rate is $53 per session. My one-on-one rate is $250 per session. If I wanted to train 40 hours per week, the number one earner for me is small group. And you can see by having 96 clients, by training 40 hours per week, and having groups of up to 7 paying only $53 per session, I have almost $1 million a year business. And that is $273,728 more than if I were charging people 5 times that rate, right? And working the same amount of hours. Like, it is a no-brainer that semi-private personal training is the go-to for any small business. And even more so than large group, because although the difference in income is $47,000, $46,000, right? I still don't want to have to acquire almost 200 clients to get there. It's going to be so much easier if my recurring clients, EFTs, recurring clients, is dropped to a number like this, and my price range is high value and understood to be personal training. And so this is why semi-private personal training is the bread and butter for all of our businesses. And this is how we deliver it. And that is our presentation on how to do just that. So I'm going to go ahead and opt out of that screen real quick. Cool. FitMaps, hashtags lives. Thank you guys for being here so much. This is today's live training. Again, if you are not aware, we are doing something incredibly different, and we've completely changed our game relative to the Garage Gym Revolution. If you want in on that, hashtag GGR16. You're going to see posts from me every single week going over more and more trainings, but also providing you insight as to how we're helping coaches scale their business to $10,000 months in as little as 90 days. So that's it for me today. Have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday. I will see you tomorrow. Peace.